Center for the Ethiopian Educational Information and Communication Technology presents Educational Satellite Television Programs.
Hello, teacher. Hello, students. Welcome to today's lesson on the instruments of justice. So far in this unit, you have learned about the moral and legal foundations upon which the justice system is built. You have also discussed the social and legal principles that make up these foundations. In today's lesson, you will learn how these principles are implemented. Students, I am ready to begin if you are. Let us start the lesson. Every country employs different instruments of justice to enforce the laws of the land. There are, however, two broad categories into which these instruments fall. These categories are legal and traditional. Today, we will focus our attention on the legal instruments of justice. These instruments include the courts, the ombudsman, and the Human Rights Commission. Courts are legal institutions that interpret the law. The government establishes the courts to implement justice, but it is important that courts are independent of the government's influence. Students, can you think of any ways in which courts might operate differently in democratic and non-democratic countries? Please, take a few minutes to think about this question and write down your answers.
Students, let's get ready. Begin. Time's up. Let's get back to our lesson.
Welcome back, students. This was a good opportunity for you to think about the benefits of living under a democratic government. In a democracy, the courts exist to protect the rights of citizens. In non-democratic countries, where rule of law does not exist, the courts may act to protect the interests of the rulers. It is important to have an independent and impartial court system that will protect the rights of the citizens. Therefore, the courts must be set up according to the Constitution in order to ensure the law is interpreted properly. Ethiopia has a dual judicial system. This means that there are two parallel court structures: the federal courts and the state courts. The federal courts handle cases related to crimes against the national state or against foreign states. They also hear cases related to drug trafficking, counterfeiting, and offenses committed by officials and employees of the federal government. The state courts have authority over matters of state law and jurisdiction, such as civil, criminal, and petty crimes. State courts include municipal or city courts, social courts, and religious courts. In previous lessons, you learned about the different rights that you have as humans and as Ethiopian citizens. The Ethiopian institution of the Ombudsman exists to ensure that these rights are protected. The Ombudsman is a government body that investigates complaints from citizens regarding maladministration. Maladministration is a political term. It describes the unjust or unfair actions of a government body against a citizen. Students, you have learned about many principles necessary for democracy to become deep-rooted in Ethiopia. How do you think the role of the Ombudsman helps to uphold these principles? Teacher, please separate the students into groups of 3 or 4. Students, in your groups, please discuss the role of the Ombudsman in supporting democracy.
Students, let's get ready. Begin. Time's up! Let's get back to our lesson.
Hello, students. I hope that you had an interesting and productive discussion. A democratic government must be transparent and accountable for its actions. It must follow the principle that no one is above the law. The Ethiopian institution of the Ombudsman exists to bring about good governance that is of high quality, transparent, and is based on the rule of law. The Ombudsman ensures that all levels of government respect the citizens' rights and benefits. The core values of the Ombudsman are independence, impartiality, equal treatment of all people, accessibility, efficiency, and responsiveness. Ethiopian citizens are becoming more active in their interactions with government. It is necessary to have an impartial institution that protects the constitutional rights of citizens and prevents acts of power abuse or maladministration. There is another legal instrument that seeks to protect the rights of citizens. The Ethiopian Human Rights Commission was established as a requirement of the 1995 FDRE Constitution. The people of Ethiopia struggled for many years and sacrificed a great deal to bring about democracy. The Commission was established to enforce and protect human rights and freedoms. The Commission uses various programs to meet its goals. Human rights education creates public awareness of human rights through the media, publications, and the school system. Human rights protection investigates complaints made by citizens. Human rights monitoring watches over places of detention and general human rights situations. Human rights research encourages academic research into human rights issues and develops action plans to support program delivery. The Commission also advises the government on existing and proposed policies and practices. It ensures that the constitutional rights of Ethiopian citizens are respected and protected. Students, you have learned a great deal about Ethiopia's legal institutions of justice. You have studied the federal and state court systems. You have also discussed the roles of Ethiopia's Ombudsman and Human Rights Commission in upholding justice and promoting democracy. Next time, we will discuss some traditional instruments of justice. I think it will be a very interesting lesson, and I cannot wait to begin. Until then, thank you, teacher. Thank you, students.